bow to the masters. Break it down.
It's the Omega Level Nerd Show once again. Lots of exciting stuff to talk about. Of course, not just me, not just Don, but you know, Ray's joining us again, of course, and
Mando season, baby.
That's right. We're talking about Power Rangers, and we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you know Vulsker's going to be here. How's it going, Vulsker?
It is going, man. Happy to be here. It's been a while, but definitely two things that I'm very excited for. So ready to talk about it.
Absolutely. And I know we've been starting off with the Mandalorian talk, so we're going to bury the lead just a little bit here because I want to get right into something that has me very, very excited. And if you're not excited, it's just because you simply don't know enough yet. So let me alleviate that problem for you. So we hear that we're going to get a God of War style video game based off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ronin. Now, yeah. You may not know what that is. And it's too bad because it really is cool. But it's really on the darker side of things as far as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go. So, in the comics, there is the Ronin. Vulsker, everybody knows the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, April O'Neil, who we talked a little bit about a couple shows ago, Splinter, all the cast there. But in Ronin, what is our situation here? Again, this is only a comic book series as of right now, so something that you're familiar with as well as I. But Vulsker, what's our picture looking like here in the Ronin story?
Yeah. So there is a part that I'm not too familiar with, and it's actually their side kind of tale that they're working on now because there is kind of a sequel in the works. But basically, we're in futuristic years down the road. I'm talking about April O'Neil type saggy skin, like barely holding up type age. New York has basically been overran by the Foot Clan's very cybernetic, kind of cyberpunk type esque.
Overran by the Foot Clan. Oh man.
And as mentioned, you know, we know TMNT to be this lighthearted, goofy, we're gonna throw some jabs while we're kicking ass type comic. But yeah, this is on a complete different level in terms of the darkness. You know, when you're looking at the Ronin or Last Ronin, however you want to refer to it as, there's one turtle left out of the whole group. April O'Neil, missing an arm. Casey Jones, gone. Splinter, gone. So there's next to like no team at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of put in perspective of the time jump here, Casey Jones and April's daughter is actually a crime fighter. She's out there. So it's definitely, I'm talking about like 20, 25 years like in the future compared to like what we would know now in a basic TMNT comic book. And, you know, leading through the first couple issues, they kind of leave that cliffhanger there. Which one is it? What's going on? Because the Ronin basically is a master of everybody's weapon. So you're like, wait, what the fuck's going on here? And this turtle, you know, when you look at them, color's gone, so they don't use the color bandana. It's just dark, dingy, and it's almost like a super turtle. So you kind of get this point of like, okay, something is definitely different with this type of story here. So as you kind of go through, and I don't know how much you wanted me to dive into it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to spoil too much, I guess, but yeah.
But you kind of get some really cool aspects that the mutation wasn't what we thought it was. The mutation is as they age, they actually become almost impossible to kill. So they start becoming easier to heal from wounds, stronger, faster. So that's kind of put on the spin of, okay, well, this one barely survived. Now you can see why he can go up against robots and shit like that and get wounds, almost bleed out, and all of a sudden, a couple days later, it's like he was never going to fight.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's very dark. It makes you feel for the one psychological, where they're sitting there battling like internal demons, talking to the weapons of the brothers. Like it's really, really dark in that aspect. Like you're like, you feel for the survivor. Like, okay, what the
Yeah.
fuck's going on? Like he he feels guilty. He wants to go. Like if he's gonna go, he's gonna make kick ass and go out like everybody else should have. Um, and to kind of get from point A to point B, and I'll shut up with the details here. We can talk about the game specifically. So a lot has happened, and it basically comes down to where there was almost a truce finally between the Foot Clan and Splinter, and that's kind of what just causes the whole fucking war. And soon be told, well, picked off, and now they run the city. Um, I'm excited to see this play out in a 25 hour game. The only caveat I have with this, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, is they actually will not release what developer is doing it, but they have said it is a newer developer. So that is the only thing that has me worried, is if they're giving it and putting it in the hands of somebody that's not experienced with this type of game.
Yeah, I mean, it's described as a God of War type game, which makes all the sense in the world to me because as you're describing it, we're talking about one turtle, but he's got all the weapons, all the abilities of the other Ninja Turtles. And like you said, also in this storyline, we discovered that them being mutant, they just get harder and harder and harder to kill it as they age. So, wow, that sounds like a really cool video game. I mean, that just going through as a Ninja Turtle with all those powers, God of War style, which is also a very dark storyline, so it fits all around. Ray, I'm not sure what your familiarity level with that is, but I know you were excited. You expressed excitement on Twitter. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel about God of War type video game starring the last Ninja Turtle, the last Ronin?
I believe that a story-driven Ninja Turtles game is probably exactly what we need. We have the side-scroll beat 'em up, we have the
Yeah.
kid-friendly versions, we have all these things. I think a dark, gritty, revenge plot-driven story Ninja Turtles game would be perfect. You
Yeah.
know, it would introduce a lot of new people to the franchise, and it would bring a lot of us old heads back. So either way, they're going to get the parents' money and the kids' money. It's smart. As for the developer, no, they haven't announced it, but you have to also remember is that Sony and Microsoft have both been buying up studios.
Yeah.
So if this is a newer studio and it's a big enough project with a big enough budget, they might cherry pick people from Bungie, from all these different Bethesda. You
Yeah.
don't know. It could be an all-star cast that they could have come together as a new company,
True.
or and then have it distributed through Microsoft or Sony or whoever's going to do it. But we don't know. But I mean, hell, Square Enix could get in on it. I mean, they
Oh,
do
please no,
story-driven.
no.
I know, but they
Yeah.
do story-driven games. They did the shitty Avengers game, and they did the Guardians of the Shitfest game, and Suicide Squad, right? They did
Yeah.
Suicide Squad too. Yeah, it's all awful, but I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It would just live up the standard. But I think that this one really needs to stand out. I
Actually, Suicide Squad's being done by Rocksteady, who gives us the Arkham games.
Okay, well, I'll take that because the Arkham games are
Yeah.
masterful.
Yeah. They are the shit.
Yeah.
Keep Square Enix away from that. But I like what you're going with that. Perfect opportunity to pick some people from Santa Monica Studios who works on actual God of War. Shit, go get Corey, I'm gonna butcher Butlog or Bartlog, who actually has overseen the transformation in the original God of Wars. Boom. I would absolutely have all faith in the world.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good all the way around. action RPG, with the RPG elements. I love those types of games. Again, like you said, God of War, but there's, Onimusha, all sorts of good shit out there. And I like and I think it's really smart for them to start with The Last Ronin, meaning just one turtle, because if they do well with this one, then they can come back with a full, like, 4-player online whatever action RPG Ninja Turtle where you do have all the 4 turtles. Now they've mastered the physics and the engine for the one turtle. They can come out with another game where they expand it to more characters, or at least the 4 turtles. But let me not get ahead of myself here. I'm not really what you would consider a current gen gamer. I spend my time mostly in the retro space, so it's very hard to get me excited about a current video game release. I mean, hell, Final Fantasy 16's coming out, and I don't even care. But hearing that they're going to have The Last Ronin, it's going to be like an action RPG God of War style. I'm just ready to kick butt.
I do want to say one more thing, Don. Like, I don't think that this property is small enough to justify a smaller studio. It's going to have to be a big league studio, a
Especially with
AAA
the
studio
hype that
that's
it's
going to
getting.
right. Like, it's really making the rounds on social media. People are amped for it. Like, go in the comments sections and like Facebook and whatever and read it. People are pretty amped about this. So I don't think that they're going to pass it off to Joe Blow Studios down the block. It's going to be somebody big, and it's going to make an impact. I have faith.
Yeah, I agree with you. They'd have to, because if they just give it to Joe Blow, and it blows, it's a beloved property that they'd be shitting on. You can't have that. Can't have it. Don't shit on the turtles.
I would absolutely love it if they kept if Rocksteady say got it right, because the Arkham fighting style and the movement was incredible.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine doing that with a Ninja Turtle, like flipping around and using the weapons and things like that'd be great.
Yeah.
Even what is it? Oh God, brain fart. Who did the Superman or Spider-Man games for Sony?
I think that was actually Sony, wasn't it?
That's what I was about to say. I think that's actually Sony.
No, it's oh God, Ratchet and Clank developers. Who the hell? Hold on. I should know this, and I feel because they did an Xbox exclusive before they got bought out, and now I feel stupid for not.
And you don't think it's Sony?
Insomniac.
Oh, Insomniac, yeah.
Oh, aren't they okay? Aren't they basically Sony though? Or
They got bought out.
Yeah, parent company now.
But yeah, Sunset Overdrive, Spider-Man, the Ratchet and Clanks, like they could easily do something like that because they didn't say what systems it was necessarily going to be for, so that leaves the door open to being an exclusive. Somebody wants to throw some money, which can also then help fund a more experienced, larger team too.
I dig it. I can't wait. It's actually a new video game that I am looking forward to. So that gets me excited because that just doesn't happen very often. But I think it's going to be fun. And as long as they make sure and do it right. And I think they will. It's too big of a property to fuck up. It's just,
There's a lot of money to be made with that name alone. Look at Shredder's Revenge, like we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Or was it the week before, Don? I can't remember. Might have been last week.
No, it was last week. The Toxic Crusader.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about the success of Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And, bringing the Turtles' name is value. It's money. People are going to buy it. They trust it. Why not? How many bad Turtles games have there been? I mean, maybe 3 total in a 30-year history?
If you count
35-year history?
If you count the tournament fighters, which I didn't hate those games.
They weren't.
They
weren't that bad.
They were broken and clunky. Like the controls were just bad for them.
I know, but it was Ninja Turtles, so you're like, fuck it.
I know. Be Super
The worst
Shredder.
one was the 360 TMNT tie-in, if anything.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna say the original NES version. That was pretty terrible. Where you could only really beat Donatello if you actually wanted to beat the game.
Yeah,
Fucking games.
those were the
Electric
good old
Seaweed.
days, though. Yeah, electric seaweed and
There's your next speedrun game, D.
yeah. I don't know. My card capture don't work anymore. I gotta get a new one. Because I was
Fucking
actually,
killed your Elgato?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. It's not working. Maybe I need a software update or something. But yeah, I was gonna try my best to record just beating Mega Man X. Not necessarily speed run, but I just wanted to like beat it with no unforced upgrades. But anyway,
I tell you what, Don, I got a challenge for you real quick.
what's that?
It's not a speed run. If you can beat one level, just one level of the Silver Surfer, I will cash app you $25.
Okay, challenge
There it is.
accepted.
Silver Surfer NES. Godspeed,
Okay.
sir.
I'll just emulate it, so I won't even need a capture card. So
No turbo button. It's got to be legit.
yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use turbo buttons. I've never thought that was sportsmanly. You should see my Mega Man X rapid shots. Develop thumb muscles. All right, so very excited about Ronin, the video game. We haven't got an official release date for that or any release trailer,
It
nothing
did say
like
a couple
that.
years away.
Yeah, so we're just really geeking, geeking over the idea. It's a great idea. It should be a great game. There's a lot of bad ideas though, but thankfully there's some pretty good ones. And a pretty good one that they recently had is Netflix has decided to do a Power Rangers show. Like, everyone keeps saying original cast, but it's not like the original cast, but it's most of the original cast, right? It's
Yeah.
It is
David
Mighty
Yost.
Morphin.
Yeah. Well, and
It's,
that's
it's whoever was out of jail and available and alive.
right.
And who didn't
Exactly.
have contract issues.
Yeah, that too. Amy Jo. Yeah, she's wrapped up in all kinds of shit right now.
And that's the one we'd want to see back, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like a direct sequel of the original show. Like, it's not because when I saw this trailer, we all watched it. This Netflix trailer for this Power Rangers. What is it? Always a Ranger or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of how Netflix treated Voltron, which was an animated series. What you laughing about there, Ray?
It's okay, Don. Go ahead. It was okay. Mid at best.
Oh my god. I love that show. I love everything Ray hates.
It's true.
I mean, look at Voltron. Look what they did to Castlevania.
Right. Yes, that's
Like-
another.
When they put their minds behind a property, they can fucking do it right. But when they half-ass something, that's when it goes south very quick.
Well, these are also animated properties that we're talking about here. This is live action.
Right.
And
That-
live action never adapts well, especially with Netflix behind it.
Does it make you feel better though to see that the aesthetics and everything are ripped basically out of the old show? Like, it's not even updated really. Like, the robot. That's. The suits, everything look exactly the same.
This is all based on pure nostalgia, and I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Sure.
Don't get
Oh,
me
yeah.
wrong. It wouldn't have a selling point without the nostalgia. There's not going to be a deep story. You might get one of the, kind of like the Wakanda Forever treatment for Chadwick Boseman that you're going to get for JDF, maybe possibly in this show. They
And Trank.
they really rushed this
Yeah.
project too. Like, they announced this like 6 months ago, and they filmed it, edited it, and they're ready to ship it out. Like, it really worries me how fast the production this was. I mean, it's Power Rangers, dude. It's not
Yeah.
gonna fucking win an Oscar. Like, I get
Right.
it, but at the same time, I want it to be good. I want it to at least live up to the standard that the original set. And I don't think that this one's gonna do it. Now, I am gonna watch it, and I probably will get that tingle in my belly for the nostalgia and all that. But I'm worried. I'm really worried, and you know how much I love my Power Rangers. So It's just really, it's gonna have to be a watch and see. Really, I hope I'm proved wrong, but I don't know, man. It's Netflix. There's a lot of shit going against it right now. I don't know, but I want it to be good. I really do.
I think it'll be good as long as you're ready to go back into that Fox TV world.
Bro, I never left that world. What are you talking about?
There you go. I mean, I've got some questions, though. I mean, obviously, yeah, Amy Jo Johnson. So we've got the second Pink Ranger because of some sort of contractual bullshit.
Yeah.
But obviously, the story, as we know it so far, is Rita Repulsa returns. And, yeah, she's got like a metal face. Now, I was like, I wonder if that's going to be like, because I got a new body. I was like, is that going to be Amy Jo Johnson? But you're saying, Vulsker, that you know a little bit about the storyline already, and that's some sort of robot with her soul?
Yeah, like I read some of the story. Like that is the real, from what we know. Now, obviously, they could pull a Netflix and something happens, but that is indeed the original voice actress that's still alive, and that is Rita. Amy Jo, from my understanding and what she alluded to, was Netflix didn't offer her enough money, so she said no.
How is that a thing? She's like a lifetime actress.
Right. Like, what the fuck do you got going on?
She's not exactly rolling in Beverly Hills these days, guys. Check her Instagram followers. She only has like 90,000. She's not really that popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
In 1994, you might have gotten away with it, but not today, Amy.
And in some of what also I picked out too is there's going to be some tributes. Obviously, JDF, from my understanding, is he was supposed to be in it, but he declined, and that was before the death. And then
So who is the Green Ranger then in this?
Don't know.
Like, not even the actor, but like, okay, well, I guess let me ask a better question. Do you think that this Green Ranger is the character Tommy Oliver, but will be was recast then, since
Could
the
be.
original?
I don't think they'll touch it.
I hope not. There's rumors it could even be his daughter, who is also a martial artist, and he was
That's
training. That she actually had, like, from my understanding, when he posted, it was a year or so ago, she had a tryout to be on one of the newer shows. So it could be her. But then there's another rumor, which, if you go back and really pay attention to the details inside of that trailer that they released, it could be a time lapse situation where he could have been in the original scene. He's there, and then all of a sudden he's going with all the other Rangers because different universes involved and things of that nature. So there could be a couple different things, because I could see them pulling some shit out of the comic books with having time travel, different universes, different teams all over the place, because in their show's continuity, all they just built on top of each other. They knew who they were. Like, JDF came, they knew, oh, you're Tommy Oliver, you're the Green Ranger. Well, now I'm also the Dino Black Ranger.
Yeah.
They all knew each other. So, who knows?
What do you guys think of them kind of leaning into the fact that the also an unfortunate the original Trini actor
Ty Train
has been deceased for a while now, and so storyline wise they're saying that she's not here because she was killed by Rita. What do you guys think about them kind of leaning into that? Do you think they should have shied away from it, or do you like kind of them building that absence into the storyline?
I think as long as they had the family's consent, I think that's fine. I think Trini would have wanted it. Is it Zhao Chang? I think her name was.
Is that how you say it?
I
Thui.
I think it's Zhao Chang. I always said Zhao Chang, but if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize.
Not intentional, guys. That's
Yeah, it's not intentional. It's just white American. I mean, if the family said it was okay, I think it's fine. But if they're doing it just because they're trying to scrap up any little bit of nostalgia that they can get to try to sell this thing, then I'm not with that. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little cringe, a little bit, but I can live with it.
I'm right there with you. As long as they had the consent of the family, I'm absolutely all for it. And that's because she, unfortunately did die at 27 years old in
Hmm.
a car crash, if I'm correct. So they never had the chance to bring her back or do her anything. And she was a favorite, nothing against Aisha or anybody. Like, Trini was,
Yeah.
you know, and even looking at what they do with her in the comic books, like she is like next to Billy type, like gung ho, smarts and doing shit. And it's just they had so much potential with that character. Um, it's kind of a way to they have to celebrate because for anybody that doesn't know, she's actually not the original Trini actor.
Yeah.
The pilot was some white woman or something that just felt like she just said I couldn't do this and like left after the pilot and they
Hmm.
got her, which I think they absolutely nailed it with Trini. So it's just a good way to celebrate, the unfortunate passing at such a young age. And they're even doing it in a way that hope is respectful by the cast who is her daughter
Hmm.
with the anticipation that that is who actually fills in as the Yellow Ranger later in this special.
Yeah, I definitely got that impression watching that trailer that yeah, her daughter was going to become, which is it was just yeah, fucking awesome. That is a cool thing. Um, leadership roles of the team. A little bit confusing because parts of this trailer it looks like it's Zach. Then at parts of the trailer looks like it's Billy. So, it's normally the Red Ranger or Green Ranger, but we're
Uh, uh, Jason St. John, he's doing time in jail, I believe, for tax evasion for screwing
yeah.
people in COVIDs. So, he's not going to be around. Um, Unfortunately, JDF is not here. We're losing leaders.
And
We're
Rocky
losing
is
leaders.
looks like just a thrown in
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Like I know
um,
you're not doing anything. Come on, come on. People,
Right.
people
and
remember you from season 3. Come on, come on.
right. And then
There's no
Adam.
conventions this week. Come on, let's go.
Then Adam is Power
Johnny.
Rangers in space or one of the patrols, so he's
Yeah,
in
Johnny
here, but he's not a
Johnny Young
Ranger.
Johnny Young Bosch does not need to come back for this. That
He's
man is
he
he
is
is
in it.
so oh he is in it? Oh, I was gonna
He's
say.
a space ranger. Like
Oh,
he's not a natural like
huh.
he's one of the I think it's Power Rangers in space where it's the patrol where they have the vest with the little insignia. Him and Aisha are actually like the commanders.
Would make sense because Billy was in space for a minute too, and then he left the show completely. But I guess that would make sense to have some of the Rangers go off and be
Oh
Guardians of the
shit.
Galaxy type Rangers.
You just totally threw my mind for a loop.
Hmm?
I wonder how the hell they're going to do that because yeah, going back to the original show because they're obviously doing the show's continuity, not the
Mm-hmm.
comics. Billy left the show because he was on the alien planet.
Yep.
So how the hell did he come back?
Well, he was in Power Rangers in space working with Alpha, and then after in space he left the
Okay,
show.
so that's
He
I
was he
didn't
was
see.
kind of like he was kind of like the tech guy, him and
Okay,
Alpha, yeah. So, but after space he left. I think he left midway through space. Honestly, he just went off to live with the Alien Rangers or some shit like that. At that point, David Yost was just done with Fox. You know.
Yeah.
I
Putting up
mean
with a lot
based
of
on
shit.
allegations and shit, yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of don't blame the person.
Well, I mean, it could make sense for this story. Get a couple of the old Rangers in space doing some Guardians of the Galaxy type shit. Why not?
Jeez.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Uh,
So the trailer does not show us any Zords.
That's probably for the best. You got
do
to
you
leave something, Don. You can't just
yeah.
throw it all out there. This
Well,
trailer is going to get criticized enough. But once
Yeah.
you get past the nostalgia, it's not going to be anything mind blowing. It's going to get bashed. So to throw in the CG Zords that are probably going to look donkey do would just be another pile of shit on the pile of shit that it's already this
yeah,
high. So,
it's gonna be interesting because 8-Bit, you got a point there because if we go back to the original, the only actual full-blown American made from start to beginning was the original movie. And
Yeah.
we knew how the Zords looked in that compared to the Ninja Zords and everything in the show.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are we getting Netflix
Yeah.
made Zords, or are we going to get cut from Super Sentai somehow? So
No.
I'm really curious to see where they go with it.
They can't do the Super Sentai shit. They can't, right? They can't.
Not legally, but I'm not sure of their copyright, who owns it and what, and if they're willing to work with Netflix.
What if they look
know.
exactly the same?
They're gonna have to Americanize it. They're gonna have to, 100%.
Like, I'm super excited to see the Dragon Zord. It was always my favorite. That's everybody's favorite, but
That'd be badass. We do get that.
Yeah,
But,
nobody
yeah.
was excited. Nobody's excited for what was it? What was the Bronchiosaurus like Titanus? The one where the Zord just landed on him.
oh
and
yeah,
it had
Titanus.
Titanus. Oh yeah. No one's
Yeah.
excited for that shit.
Yeah, I never got that one. Like, yeah, all he did was get.
It was added firepower, dude. It was meant to sell toys. Come
Yeah.
on. All that that addition was.
Then they had a big turtle one.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Yes.
its name. I just remember it being like
It's
crushed
like a
by.
like a
Sepultura.
catapult launcher or something. Like
Yeah.
they just kept adding on and adding on.
I dug it though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like 12, 13 when this shit first came out. When Power Rangers came out, I felt like it was too young for me, that I shouldn't have been watching it. But I'm like, fuck.
Well,
These
yeah.
are robots that make a giant robot. This is awesome.
And let's be
Like,
honest, you could have easily got away with it because I watched it every fucking day.
oh yeah, no, I remember when it first came on. It was right before I could watch it before school every day before I go out to the bus stop. So like, yeah.
So here's a weird just drop of knowledge. So Super Sentai was actually created by Bandai in Toei.
Oh, and Toy, huh? Okay, yeah.
And Power
Yeah,
Rangers is
Toei
owned
ain't
by
working with
Hasbro.
nobody. Toei ain't working with nobody. If they still own it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right. They will go after a motherfucker because on this very channel, me and Halo Drama we did a reaction to DBZ Abridged Triamite, and sure as shit, Toei fucking reported that, and it got took down.
Mhm.
Like, not even like copyright strike. Like, no, deleted. Like, holy shit. And yeah, I got the email, and sure enough, it's like, complaint from Toei. I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, they don't fuck around. Not at all.
They're just gonna have to Americanize it, make it look as close to the original as you can get it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
easy. Most cosplayers can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
you could buy a costume off Amazon that looks pretty accurate. So I don't know.
So it looks like Bandai Namco might be the current owners.
That makes sense. They're the ones that
Yeah.
just put out the Power for the Grid game a couple of years back. So yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
And then Hasbro. Well, then they may have an actual working relationship because Hasbro owns Power Rangers now.
Yeah, they've owned. When did Hasbro pick up?
A couple
Power
of years
Rangers.
ago, like right after that relaunch movie.
I thought that Hasbro picked it up. I think right after RPM. I think is when they actually picked it up. Not 100% on that. I'd have to check on that, but I'm pretty sure after RPM is when Hasbro picked it up, and then they put it on Nickelodeon.
The Nickelodeon Walt Disney shit pisses me off.
Well, there's
Hasbro
actually
bought it in 18.
18. Yep, that's right around that time. Yeah,
Oh,
sounds about
so
right.
Here
Was
you
that
go.
after the movie? The shitty movie?
Um,
Well, they're all shitty, but
That movie was awesome. by the
Actually,
way.
if you go back and rewatch it, Don, what they were trying to do was really ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like it's not a great movie by any stretch of the means. Like, you go to a Power Rangers movie wanting a Power Ranger movie, right?
yeah.
But this one had a lot of character depth and real world situations. Well, for the most part, not Power Rangers, but I mean, like, like the characters were going through their own traumas and shit like that. Like, they were pretty realistic with it, and it gets shit on, and it's not a great movie by any stretch of the means, but it'll do.
Yeah,
And
just
it
didn't
really
relaunch the
opened the world
franchise
for-
though.
If they would have did a second one, I think it would have been night and day because they had that world built. Like,
Well, they had it greenlit for a second movie, and then the reviews came out, and then once the Blu-ray DVD sales came out, they said, "Yeah, we're taking that away. We're not doing that." So, unfortunately, we'll never get to see the Green Ranger or anything like that.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It was that bad. I don't think it was that bad. Everybody's like going like Rotten Tomatoes. It's like 13%. Like people hate it, but
I loved it as a fan of the original, and seeing that they were going for us adults who loved the original. I enjoyed every bit of it.
yeah, there was an article. There was an article released today. I forgot to send it to you, Don, about Power Rangers, and that the new season of Power Rangers is going to be more story-driven, focused, more over action. So that should be really weird.
Yeah, that is because
They're not really gonna do the whole monster of the week thing kind of thing anymore. So they're gonna move into a full season-driven story, and they haven't really done that since like Dino Thunder.
That's gonna be interesting. And is it still where does that air on? Is it still on Nickelodeon?
I don't know. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I dropped off at Samurai. I was like, I'm gonna take a break from Power Rangers for a minute.
So I'm curious.
See, I didn't make it past Zeo, so it's been a while.
Fucking
since
Zeo was dope. I don't care what any Zeo and Turbo were great. I don't care what anybody says. The movie for Turbo really sucked, but the show was great. I enjoyed the show.
Cosmic Fury, which is now it's going to be the third and direct sequel to Dino Fury. Now I'm curious. Kind of makes you wonder, like, if it's going to be on Netflix, because Netflix and Hasbro has a partnership. That's why all the Transformer shit is on there.
Yeah.
Well, with all the drive for content, I don't see why it wouldn't be on Netflix if they own it.
The way they keep fucking charging stuff.
I don't know. I got my Netflix with ads. They ain't getting really much of shit out of me. So. Like, bro, I grew up watching regular TV. Your ads ain't gonna break me.
Right.
I think every service I have has ads. Paramount Plus, Peacock, they all have ads, and I don't care.
Yeah. So it says season 2 is on Netflix, so it looks like it may go to Netflix, or it might be like it'll air on Nickelodeon type thing and then go to Netflix pretty soon after.
Smart.
Interesting.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me that like 25 years later, we're still talking about Power Rangers. Just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I could still remember the very first like preview of the show in a Fox Kids magazine, you know, and you know, when that first, again, it was kind of a guilty pleasure, but I couldn't resist. I was, you know, this is basically Voltron, New Age Voltron.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are. Yeah, circling back, still there.
And it's crazy because if you had to ask me, like right now, what is one of my favorite comic books? Power Rangers all day. This line of comics that they started back 2016 is just fucking fantastic. And the fact that when they got like Jason David Frank involved, they created Lord Drac, and then they went to Bat and the Sun. They took their Green Ranger like suit and now implemented it as who the new Ranger is. It's like it's fucking great. Like, I love it.
I think it needed that. I think that Power Rangers needed that push, like towards a more grittier, like darker reality. They needed to take all the Saturday morning fun shit out of it, especially if they're going to keep with people like our age group. They're going to want a more serious story. They had to do it. It was inevitable. Plus, IDW, you know, they don't really disappoint with their properties. Like,
No.
Like, I remember reading shit from Dark Horse growing up going, what the fuck? Y'all made a Dr. Giggles comic, for Christ's sake. Come on.
Dude.
No,
But we got a Green Ranger Shredder, for God's sake.
Yeah,
that's
that's cool
true.
as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there were. I just picked up the first couple issues of season 2 of that. They're doing a second round. Of,
Oh, really?
TMT. Yeah.
TMT Power Rangers? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. You get those Turtles Zords and shit.
Fucking great. Like, so when you look, and I'm not a big like IDW fan, but when you look at IDW and Boom, like when they have crossover shit, like it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, they do an
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
job. They do an
Yeah.
awesome job.
Especially when they do the Big Trouble Little China. Shit, what was it? It was Big Trouble Little China crossed over with Escape from New York. It was great. I was like,
Funny.
I'm totally happy. I mean, I love weird shit like that. You know, especially what they did with like the Evil Dead franchise. You know, Army of Darkness crossing over with Marvel at one point. That was pretty wild. You know,
Oh, the Marvel Zombies
yeah,
versus
Army of Darkness. Yeah, and then
Which,
you had.
up in the corner.
Oh no, I didn't see it. That's dope. And then they had like Army of Darkness versus Reanimator, like all kinds of weird, cool mashup shit. I love when they do that, and they can because they own the properties. Thank you, Alien versus Predator. You proved that it can happen.
Nice, yeah.
The only thing about that, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, they did just lose a major franchise, and I think IDW lost the rights to Transformers.
Ooh.
Yeah, they did.
They had to hurry up and finish Beast Wars this year because they weren't going to be the publisher anymore.
Wonder if that's because they just want to see how the movie will do.
Don't even get me started on that garbage.
Oh man,
That
we're
is-
gonna have
that
to
is
talk about
not-
that. You're not
That is
digging
not
that?
the Beast Wars. No, it shouldn't be taking place in current age. It's supposed to be in the past. Optimus Prime is supposed to be
A gorilla?
Yeah. Well, Primal. Primal is supposed to be the successor, not the ancestor. Like they're flipping shit all around, and I don't like this one bit. Because remember, what happens is Optimus Primals actually they hit a black hole that takes them to prehistoric. So they're the future versions.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing this as Optimus Prime finds
Prime's-
Primal, and he's
Yeah.
the answer. Yeah, no. And you know I don't like the last 2 movies from Michael Bay. Those were hot garbage. So I'm afraid they're
What was
Okay,
that?
but this is
Age of Extinction, and what was the other one with John Cena? Bumblebee.
Bumblebee I liked.
Bumblebee is awesome.
That wasn't Michael Bay though, right? That was
No.
just
No.
his name was attached to it. He didn't have anything to do with it.
They did it
Okay.
in a way that could either be a prequel or they could reboot, and it looks like they're using it as a way to reboot. But yeah, that's what is it? The one with Unicron. They fucked that up.
Oh yeah.
And then the
Dude, they've been
I
fucking
s-
Unicron. Unicron's been fucked ever since the original movie. Even that animated what is it called? Star Wars Transformers.
which
They're
one?
they're always trying to make Unicron Earth, basically.
Yeah.
And
it should not be.
yeah, no, I agree. And they've been doing
It should be
that
like the
dumb shit.
'84 movie where he's a
Yeah.
big giant fucking robot that wants to eat Earth, and its head becomes a base.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't give me.
No, I'm
That
with
is
you
the
on that.
best Transformers movie ever. I don't care. Nothing comes close. I'm sorry that you cried in the movie theater, D.
I did, man. I was not going to the movies as a young chap, and to see like him die. But not only that, like as soon as that movie fucking starts, the Decepticons just start fucking blowing away Autobots, man. Fucking Ironhide, bam. You know, you're just like, holy shit, what is happening? Why?
Because you weren't expecting it. It got that shock factor
No.
out of you. That's what they wanted.
I did not expect
it's
that
something
Hasbro
different.
says it's time for new toys, young Donnie. It's time for new toys. We're killing all your old ones.
And then that fell on its face, and poor Hot Rod went off in the sunset to never be heard of again. So actually, I'm gonna kick that up a little bit. IDW lost the rights to Transformers, Beast Wars, and GI Joe.
Ooh.
No one gives a fuck about G.I. Joe. I'm sorry. I mean, the old show, yes, I know plenty of people that, but...
Has lost to an undisclosed competitor, which either makes me think it's Boom or Marvel. Because Marvel did the
could
old
not
Transformer
imagine.
ones back in the day.
They did the old G.I. Joe ones too.
And they're bringing the Star Wars back to them. So I could see, with some fucking
Star Wars
crazy.
back to who?
Well, Star Wars at one point was like Dark Horse.
It was
They
Dark
weren't-
Horse. Yep,
Yeah.
it was Dark
But
Horse. Then it
Marvel's
went back
long
to
time
Marvel.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
And-
Marvel. The original shit was Marvel. Hell, our grandmother had a box full of those. Wish I could have saved them.
Still do. First appearance of Boba Fett in a box.
Yeah.
Here he had the whole fucking run,
Mm.
like mint condition.
Yeah,
and then it got
no,
left out in the rain.
Yeah, we should have saved those. He still has some like Star Wars cups from Burger King that I at some point. need to get
Empire
from him.
Strikes Back, my friend. I
Yes.
do too.
Yeah, I need to get those from him.
They're at my mother's in like a glass cabinet. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, these are showpieces. You need to take them out of the drawer and put them up here.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so Marvel, Dark Horse, back to Marvel. But then I heard they might be going back to Dark Horse. That's why I was asking, like, back to who?
I know they do license it to IDW for
Yeah, they
some of
do.
the
They
kid-friendly ones.
yeah, they do Marvel shit for they let other people do Marvel like Kid Avengers and shit. I reviewed a couple for Superhero Speak, but yeah. But anywho, yeah, Power Rangers Netflix show trailer looks intriguing. We will see how the quality turns out. And yeah, I want to see what those Zords look like. Are they going to be exactly what we saw before, or are we going to get some CGI modernization?
I'm telling you right now, D, you're not going to see them till the very end of the movie. This
The
thing
last
is
5
this thing
minutes.
is not even 5 minutes. Like they're going to use them just to like fight the monster for like 20 seconds. This
Yeah.
is so low. This is so low budget.
That's a good bit the whole budget. Sorry, guys, we gotta digitally animate these, so you have only 2 speaking lines right now.
Yeah, this is almost a GoFundMe for Netflix.
Right. Well, you never know. It could cash in because, it's all nostalgia juice all day.
When is the April 19th? So what is that, a Friday? That is a Wednesday. So we will have to meet up the 21st then 2 days later and talk about that shit.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We will do that. So stay tuned here to Make Level Nerds. Let us know down in the comments what you think of the trailer. Are you excited for Power Rangers on the Netflix there? Or possible Ronin video game coming out in a couple of years? Let me know down in the comments. All right, well, Vulsker, I guess now's the time that we say adieu because you've not yet given yourself the gift of watching The Mandalorian.
I know.
So,
I'll take that. I'll
Any
take that
other?
L.
Any of it, Vulsker?
Oh no, just this season.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
just-
binger. You're a binger, right?
I can be. I don't know. Season 1 and 2, because we did the show every week. We talked about it. I don't know. It's one of those things. I haven't had the urge to watch it yet. But then I saw the review and it was like, oh yeah, we got like 3 episodes left. I was like, oh fuck.
There's certain shows that I can binge. Like I can wait. I don't give a shit. And then there's other ones like Mandalorian where I have to watch it week to week because TikTok or whoever is gonna spoil this shit for me. I gotta stay on top of this, you know.
I am lucky. Somehow I have not, other than the Jar Jar Binks thing. That's like the only thing. The actor.
Meh.
That's like the only thing. But if anything, I am very lucky that The Last of Us, that's what I had to deal with because I'm a huge Last of Us fan. And with that show, I was like, all right, I got to stay away from anything until I watch every episode.
You see, that's the opposite. I'm probably gonna binge them all in one day. I'm just gonna sit down and just run
It's
through
so
them.
fucking good. If you love the game, like enjoy. I'll be curious to see.
I didn't play the second one. I only need the first one.
I will reserve. Yeah, I loved both of them. But
It was a perfect story. It was a perfect
it
overall
really was,
story.
yes.
You didn't need a sequel game. You didn't. And you didn't need to remake it 5 years later either. But yeah, you did. But
Twice.
yeah.
Because that was the final Sony PS3 game. Then they did a remaster for PS4, and then
Yep.
they did a complete remake
Mhm.
for PS5.
Yeah,
But
which by the way,
fantastic.
Resident Evil 4 is waiting for me right here.
Yeah, my copy will be here next week.
But buy it digital, man. Digital.
I almost did.
You should. It comes with the original soundtrack. You can play the game with the original soundtrack.
That's
And
fucking great.
it comes with a bunch of in-game items, but
There you go. But all right, guys, I won't keep you too much longer. So enjoy. I will get caught up, and then maybe next time I can jump in with the conversation.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. See you.
All right, peace out, guys.
digital. Over here, physical. Meh.
Yeah, he has a bunch of physical stuff, shitload of movies and stuff
The
like
only
that.
physical games that I have are out of print games from PS2, like my Fatal Frames and things like that, and
Right.
my Japanese copies of games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Those are
Awesome.
the only physical ones I really have. Like,
Yeah,
if I can't get them digitally, if I can get them digitally, I will get them digitally. But
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so here we are. The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 4. What is the title? The Foundling.
the Foundling.
Foundling. I'm going to be, and I got to stop blanking out our screens here, looking at the internet. This episode was, well, we're back to the short episodes.
Yeah, 32 minutes, and that includes credit time. So you're looking at about 26 to 28 minutes total.
I would say that this is by far, well, not by far, but so far the weakest entry into into this season. And I only say that because really not a lot of stuff goes on. There is a major, a major thing that we do get to see. If you remember last episode here on the Mega Level Alerts, I had said, hey, I wonder when we're going to get that scene where they stormed the Jedi Temple that I saw in the trailer. And so we got it. Not Anakin or anybody like that, which was speculated. It was all clone troopers. So yeah, they showed basically how Grogu got saved from the Jedi Temple during Order 66. And so what had happened is there is this Jedi. His name is Kellen Beck. I believe I am pronouncing that correctly. He is played by the actor that played Jar Jar Binks. So a lot of people excited about that. Of course, the actor's name, Ahmed Best. Excited for that because, of course, everybody hates Jar Jar, so they're seeing it as somewhat of a redemption, for this actor to get back into the Star Wars world and not as a much maligned CGI character. I did like the scene. I mean, I don't know how excited I am for this particular Jedi. I mean, I like all Jedi. They're cool. Great that this guy did want to return to Star Wars and not be Jar Jar, so I'm definitely happy for him.
Which shocks me, Don, because he's openly said that Star Wars ruined his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to commit suicide because he couldn't get an acting job or anything like that. I mean, but he's been very publicly open about Star Wars ruining his life. And to see him come back is just a shocker. I guess money talks, bullshit walks.
Indeed, and hopefully this will improve, his standing. It's sad to hear that, he got into that dark of a place because of Star Wars, but, Jake Lloyd, he's never really, episode 1's kind of got a curse on it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Jake Lloyd was in college, and somebody said like "Yo, Anakin" or something like that, and he jumped up in class and just beat the fucking piss out of the guy. Like,
yeah.
he needs to take a chill pill, man. He needs to just relax and know that it's turbo time. Give you a little Jingle All the Way reference in there, Doug.
Yeah. Doll.
The doll.
Doll, get the doll. Doll. So, anyways, I digress. That's like the most exciting thing that happened in the episode, because the whole rest of the episode is really just Din Djarin and Boca. I know it's Bo, but my wife calls her Boca. Bo-Katan. They're just kind of chilling, with the rest of the Children of the Watch. She's still not taking her helmet off, so yeah, Boca is like full Children of the Watch now, and she's almost establishing herself as like a leader, because they're chilling with the Children of the Watch. They gotta move because they got attacked by an alligator during the first episode.
I think that's the whole point of them being there, is so that they can teach survival skills. To
I
these
guess
young
so.
kids.
Because then they get a fucking dragon that just comes along and takes the kid. And so Bo-Katan initiates this search party to chase after the dragon and get the youngling back. So she's just kind of establishing herself with in the Children of the Watch. So it's almost it seems as though maybe she's into it more than she lets on.
I think she's committed now. Like, she did say this is the way. Like, and then when they're eating dinner, she's like, "How do we eat? If we can't take our helmets off." And then everybody just scatters off and goes and eats their food, and then they'll come back.
Right.
So she's learning the ways. Like, I mean, she thought before she thought before it was a cult, like a separatist cult or whatever the fuck she defined it. But now she's learning that maybe, after seeing that mythosaur, I think something changed in her brain. Like, and she's like, maybe they're right. So why not go balls deep in? I mean, her people disowned her. She's looking for acceptance. She doesn't have a castle anymore, so she has nowhere to go. And these people are willing to accept her as is, regardless of her royal heritage and the things that her family did. Why not? Fucking go all in, man. Find yourself a family. Find yourself a tribe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I still think there's a possibility for her to kind of do a heel turn here, to use a wrestling term. Yeah, very interesting. So, yeah, this dragon, though, that they go and hunt. See, the Mandalorians, they're not making, like, the greatest decisions, to be honest with you. Because they decide, like, okay, here's the dragon's nest. We're going to not use our backpacks. We're going to crawl up this mountain so it doesn't hear us. And they get up there, and it's not even there, and it gets to jump on them anyway. So I'm like, that was all pretty dumb. But anyway, it took like a couple days to get to this thing's nest. I'm thinking that
overnight. It was overnight.
It was overnight, right? I'm thinking like that Mandalorian kid's dead.
Oh yeah, and then it's so funny because when they get to the top and then they realize it's the dragon's babies in there that they got the heat signature from, and then the mom comes back and then just spits the kid out of her mouth. I'm like, like what? Like,
how long was he chilling in there?
Over a day,
like
at least 24 hours.
I get the helmet's pressurized, but oh my god, how horrible must it have been? But yeah, she spits out the live Mandalorian kid to try and feed her dragon babies, and.
But that's the thing, is that Bo-Katan, she tracked her back to her nest, where her hungry babies were. What is an animal going to do? They're going to feed their young. They're not going to waste time and hold it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing ever, but I get it. Story, plot, I understand. I just think that it was just a waste of time. You know, there's other things in this show that that they could be focusing on, but going on a bird hunt it wasn't it for me. It felt like filler. It felt like, okay, well, we only have 8 episodes this season, and we're not really focusing on too many of the important things right at once. I
Yeah.
guess they're saving it all for the end, as Disney shows do.
Yeah.
Look at some of the like the Marvel shows, like
Oh yeah.
WandaVision, Hawkeye. Like, the shit didn't really pick up until the last couple episodes. But
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett, even Book of Boba Fett. Uh, I just don't understand why they have to live in this trope. This is the Mandalorian. This is your big Star Wars show property. Probably maybe the biggest show on Disney Plus.
Well, it
I've
started Disney Plus, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It was the first original programming on there. So
Yeah, and it was one of the things that kept people subscribed. Because if you remember, when Disney Plus first started, they gave you a week free. Or was it a week or 2 weeks? I think it was 2 weeks free.
in 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
12 or
they're
14 days or something like that. Yeah.
And then to keep people, they had the Mandalorian on there, and that's been a selling point for Disney Plus since then. But they don't have to live by the tropes of the Disney Plus show, where you just give us a little bit in the beginning, a little bit of plot, a little bit of subplot, and then drive it a little bit, slow it down, and then in the last couple episodes, kick it up to full gear.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that. Not with the Mandalorian. And I just feel like it's just being that trope, that Disney Plus, by the numbers. And I hate the format. I really do. I thought WandaVision was so great until they slowed it down and then had a big fight scene at the very end. Like, we didn't need that. I thought the show was great without all the fighting. But, Marvel gonna Marvel. But we're not here to talk about Marvel. So, and they did it with Book of Boba Fett. Like, think about the final battle in Book of Boba Fett. That was the last 2 episodes, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like riding the Rancor around
Yeah,
and shit.
man. Yeah.
It's dude doing that flip, that unnecessary little turnaround, and yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, if you know the Disney format, then you know that, okay, like, you're not gonna keep your subscription like past a certain point. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, and then you're gonna activate that Disney Plus, binge the fuck out of the show, and get the last 2 episodes. Cancel your subscription until the next season of Mandalorian, because they have such a predictable format. They need to change things up. It's getting old. So here's what I predict on next week. There's gonna be some kind of plot twist, right?
Okay.
That's gonna get you super excited for the next couple of episodes, because we haven't gotten that in the last couple episodes. We've gotten a lot of plot, but and this is when they're gonna turn up the heat. Watch.
Okay.
Next week they're gonna turn up the heat because we're running out of time.
Right.
And in the last 2 episodes, they're really gonna drive it home, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, this show's so fucking good," which it is. But
Right.
like I said, it's by the numbers. They need to change.
And I think if they do have a twist, because I think you're right. I think next week we're definitely going to get some sort of reveal, some sort of twist, something. And I think it's going to center around the Armorer. Because she seems to know a whole lot about Bo-Katan. And it doesn't make sense why she would. And I'm not, this has been beaten like a dead horse online, but I will mention it. She does have a Mandalorian helmet that is very reminiscent of the ones that Darth Maul's Mandalorians wore. So I believe you're right, and I believe it's going to center around the Armorer as far as finding out who she is. Or
it'd be great if she took off the helmet and she was kind of like Darth Maul's people, one of their people.
Oh, a Zabrak?
Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Or,
but yeah, how cool would that be? What a twist!
That would be cool. That would be cool. But, overall, though, the episode, you're right, it really did not accomplish much. I mean, it's not a bad episode. It was just one of the weaker ones. I mean, it just kind of developed Bo-Katan a little bit, kind of showed us where she's at in regards to her station with the Child of the Watch. So we get to see that. We get to see her, establishing a relationship with them. And then outside of that, we just get that flashback to Order 66, where that Jedi saved Grogu. And then boom, that's it. That's all this episode was.
Does it feel to you, Don, like we're focusing a lot on Bo-Katan here? Like the last couple episodes have been very Bo-Katan heavy. Very little Mando. Like think about this episode alone. How much Mando time did you get?
He's in the background, basically.
Yeah. He picked Grogu up to train him, playing dad role, and then he flies off to get the dragon. Right. And then he's like not even a prominent character. Bo-Katan is the focal point here. This really is starting to feel like in the last 2 to 3 episodes the Bo-Katan story.
Yeah, I would agree. We are involved with her way more than I thought we would be this season. I would have thought we would have been more Grogu / Ahsoka centric. But no, it's really all about just this Mandalorian mythos and how's it going to come together. We've got these different people, different factions, vying for leadership. And now we're seeing Din Djarin and Bo-Katan come together. I would never have thought that. I would just never thought that where we're at and how much Bo-Katan we're getting. Which is why that's why it's kind of lending fuel to my inside theory about, like, I think Bo-Katan's going to be the villain or a villain, or at least at some point she's going to make her power play. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, who has the Darksaber right now? Who picked it up? Bo-Katan did, but I never saw her give it back.
Right. I don't know where the Darksaber is right now.
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody saw him pick it up. The last I saw it, she had it.
No idea.
She could have easily said, "Oh, we lost it in the cave when you got dragged under," or something like that. I don't know.
You know what's funny about the Darksaber is it wasn't actually originally supposed to be a lightsaber. It was actually going to be a vibro sword. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, George Lucas didn't like that. Now, vibro swords can stand up to lightsabers.
Yeah, the Emperor's guards use them.
But for whatever reason, George Lucas was like, nah, that's not cool. No, if you're going to have it go up against a lightsaber, then we got to make it cooler. And boom, the Darksaber was born. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great show. Love it. But definitely a weaker entry so far. I think we're both in agreement on that.
Definitely not a lot to talk about in this episode. Yeah, you saw Grogu do a little bit of training, and that's cute.
Do a little paintball thing.
Yeah, and then she makes the armor for him, which she makes them this giant fucking cylinder.
Yeah.
Like it's like his whole body, and I'm just like, how is that going to help you train or anything like that? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it was just like a disc. I mean, it's just like I get it. You want to make him like a breastplate or whatever. Okay, cool. But she literally just makes like a plate. And says, okay. And it fixes it to his chain link armor.
It looks like one of Flava Flav's clocks.
Right. Yeah, boy. Grogu in the house.
If that's Grogu's first words, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Gonna have that thing swinging around. Yeah.
But last week's episode, super fanboys noticed things about that episode is when the short-haired chick, what was her name? I can't remember her name. She worked
Elia.
for yeah. She worked for Grandma, and if you notice, it's toned down a lot, but they play Snoke's theme. So it's all in the research to clone Snoke, and it's all full circle. And I'm like, thinking to myself, that's great, that's cool, but why?
Yeah.
Like, why would we just randomly throw that in?
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I see a lot of discourse on Twitter, the home of discourse, that, a lot of these people thought that they were going to erase the sequel trilogy. and we're actually like
Embracing it.
embracing it, you know, because we are on that road to how did Palpatine and Snoke come about. So
Yep.
they're solidifying it. They're not disintegrating it, and that's making a lot of people upset. But just what you're talking about, though, you know, yeah, this whole cloning shit going down. Like, yeah, I wonder. But we're gonna learn. You know, what is this all for? Is it Snoke?
But
Is
I
it
just,
Palpatine? Both?
but I just think that it's just a weird place to just put that in randomly. Like, at
Yeah.
least make that the focal point of it. Like, really push that cloning technology. Don't just subtle it. You know what I mean? Like, sneak it in there. Oh, it's an Easter egg. We don't want an Easter egg. We want a good story. Give us a good story. You're gonna give us a full 45-minute episode. Make it worth something. Don't make us beg for it. You know, give
Yeah.
us the treat. We're Star Wars fans, man. We're not rocket scientists.
Yeah. Give us the photon pop. Come on,
That's right.
sons of bitches.
Yeah, I swear if they start selling them at Disneyland, I'm done. Fucking done.
You're gonna see it.
Oh,
You're
I
gonna see
believe it.
Glowy ice cream.
Yep, it'll be on the shelves for Christmas, don't worry.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
already
wish
have
I,
it.
I was gonna say I wish I could say more about this episode,
Yeah.
but literally nothing happens. Homie gets kidnapped, Dragon gets killed. They take the babies, which I thought was fucking. We got more
Yes,
foundlings.
that was
for
the
you.
last. Yeah, so what is that all about? Because, yeah, they take the baby dragons, and now I'm like, are these motherfuckers trying to be like Mandalorian Targaryens now?
Yeah, there it is.
Fucking,
They're gonna be riding around on fucking dragons. Yes. Yeah,
like, we
one's
got
gonna
Boba Fett on a Rancor, and then we
Yep.
got this bitch she saw a fucking Mythosaur, and now we're just going to fucking
But
go
did
on dragons.
she? But
Right, or did she? Yeah, they haven't
Like
touched
they bring
on that.
up. No. They brought
Oh,
it
they
up.
did,
That was
yeah.
the last 10 seconds of the show. She's like, I
Right.
think I saw a mythosaur, and then she's just like, did you? Like, you know, it's a
Right.
vision, or it makes you question, did she really see it? Like we said last week. I swear, Don, it's like we're predicting this show going
Yeah.
forward. I'm telling you, next week they're going to turn up the heat. Watch.
I'm with you.
I got this Disney format down. Because next week is episode 5? 4? 5? 5. Okay, and it's a 8 episode season, right?
Yep. So, yeah,
Yep.
they're going to start
Oh, yeah,
turning
we're-
up.
Turning it up, you're going to see Jedis, and
Before we hit the
Maybe-
penultimate, and then
Yep.
yeah,
you're going to see Palpatine and Snoke, and they're just really going to throw it in there.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, you're right. It's should be some action packed last 3 episodes for sure.
Well, if it's not action packed next week, it's
Or
definitely going to
story
really
packed.
push that plot. Like we're
Yeah.
going into the end game here. We gotta push it up. You'll see.
Mach 10.
We will have a lot more to talk about next week, I promise.
Yep, absolutely. So make sure you're here because we will be here. And with that, Ray, of course,
Yep.
got the Gorilla Brain podcast, and you're a fellow contributor to Superheroes Speak.
Yes.
You're on
Frequently
Twitch,
on
which I'm
Speak,
sorry.
yes.
I'm
No,
going to
no.
make you about a half hour late.
Nah, it'd be about another half hour before I even make the rounds over there. I'll be
Oh.
playing Resident Evil 4 remake tonight, so
Nice,
that's what I'll be
nice.
doing.
What's the link there? What's your name on Twitch?
At
8-bit.
8-bit Ray. Yep. That's just pretty much the brand at this point.
And how's the other podcast? I always forget the name. Underrated Hotel.
Oh, the Overlooked Hotel.
Overlooked.
Yeah,
I always say
it's,
underrated. I always do. It's overlooked.
Yeah, it's
That's probably
It's
a cool
done. Like,
reference that I'm not getting. Right? Is that
The
so
Shining.
cool?
The
Yeah,
Shining.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. You know how Jack Torrance went crazy at the Overwatch? I always say the Overwatch, dude. JD's going to kill me. Yeah, and then Jack Torrance just goes crazy. So it's kind of a reference to that, like, I'm going to be that madman. The episodes are actually recorded. I'm working on branding at this point, like merch designs and logo design and things like that. So once that's
there
all
you go.
set up, I'm going
Hard in
to...
the paint.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to switch all the Gorilla Brain shit over to this new thing and then just call it a day, because I really don't want to lose my following. I worked years on that. I really don't want to lose that.
No, I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, cool. Well, make sure you go check that out at 8-Bit Ray on Twitter, at Gorilla Brain Pod on Twitter. Check my man out. As far as this show here, guys, of course, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. If you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns, please give us a comment on the video, or if you're just listening to the audio on Podbean or Apple Podcast app, then you can always tweet at us at Omega Level Nerds on Twitter, or you can email omegalevelnerds@gmail.com. So let us know what you thought of the topics today. Or you can just randomly complain about stuff. Like the one guy that complained on the video where we talk about... what were we talking about? I got a long soliloquy of how you're ridiculous. Because a villain's actions weren't the first ever. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here. Just if you feel like complaining, I'll read it. That's all I'm trying to say. At the comments. I want your comments.
And we'll address it. We'll address it. Don't worry.
We'll address it. As long as I don't forget it. Actually, let me read that while I'm on junk time here. Hold on one second. Where she be? Where's my comments? I forget what you said. Something you said set this dude off.
Oh, that ain't the first. I'm actually quite good at that.
Oh, we were talking. It was our Chrono Trigger versus the Legend of Dragoon. He says, "Are you kidding me? Laughing my ass off. A villain destroying a town? Like, that is a new concept introduced in Final Fantasy VII. I don't even remember fucking you talking about that whatsoever. Like, I don't know.
I made the Sephiroth reference of how Legend of Dragoon. But how the games were in development at almost the exact same time. So kiss my ass. That. Learn your fucking history, little man.
Right. Wow, it just goes to show you that every modern gamer these days bases their influence from Final Fantasy VII and only Final Fantasy VII. Like, that was the only RPG that existed and that broke into mainstream. What about the history of JRPGs that dates back to the mid-'80s? New fans come off as not only being ignorant and uneducated, but pretty obnoxious, comparing everything to Final Fantasy VII.
I didn't compare it to Final Fantasy
No,
VII.
not at all you didn't.
I didn't go on Final Fantasy VII is the greatest JRPG of our time.
No.
No, I did not. I gave one small little comparison and somebody blew it out of proportion.
Yeah, no, that dude is feeling some type of way about...
JRPG butthurt gatekeeper, dude. Oh my God.
There you go. So that's what we want.
Y'all need to settle down over there on Twitter. I'll shut that shit down real quick.
We want more of that. Give us shit to shut down. All right, guys. Thank you if you made it to this far in the video. Hope to see you again. Omega Level Nerds. See you again soon.